So I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, this guy's not serious, right? This isn't really a pocket dump. There's no way. There's no flippin' way the Bachelor for Life carries everything right here on his person or in close proximity every day. Well, yeah, I'm going to say it because it's true. I'm going to go piece by piece and kind of explain why. I get it all the time. Why the hell do you need 3 multi-tools? Why the hell do you need 2 neck knives, 2 pocket knives, 2 flashlights, and a damn spork? Okay? Why would you need a spork? And I'll show you why. Because it's got a knife. And you never know when it's going to get deep. And you've resorted to plan A, plan B, plan C, D, E, F, and G. You get all the way to plan C. I got to pull out my K-bar spork and get defensive. Sometimes things get weird. And you got to resort to plan Z. So, one by one, I'll kind of play these out. I will be honest, I do jump back and forth with the neck knives. I obviously don't wear 2 neck knives at one time, so I'll start there. I do bounce back and forth. This neck knife I got not too long ago, maybe a year or so ago. This is a Cold Steel mini leather neck. Comes with a nice Secure-X sheath. I did put a little paracord around it. Blade steel on that. 8CR13 MOV, made in China. It's a cute little neck knife. It serves its purposes. You know, I can clean my nails with it when they get a little dirty. I can trim the nails when they get a little long. And occasionally, you know, open boxes, whatever may come. So I carry that one, and like I said, I switch back and forth between this neck knife and my other favorite here, my Tops Buck collaboration. This one's a little heavier duty. It's the 154 cm. Oh, you know what? I take that back. Actually, I think this one might be a 420 HC. I'll have to look that up. I'll post something on the screen. But I did wrap this with paracord. I do get I've got kind of a fat hand, so it just kind of gave me a little bit better grip. But this is the Tops Buck Csar-T. Got a little screwdriver on the end, or pry bar. I use it for mostly. I did convex sharpen that. You can kind of see that. It's a little rough right now. I do use it quite a bit. It's a little dirty. Comes with a Kydex sheath. I don't know if these are still in production or not. I doubt it. I believe they've been discontinued as well. So I do switch back and forth between the Tops Buck and the Cold Steel for my neck knives. Now for my pocket knives, I do carry these both every day and for multiple purposes. This one's kind of my everyday use. This thing I plow through just about anything I need to cut quickly. The serrations on this thing are mean. This is the Code 4 CTS XHP steel. I did a review not too long ago on it alongside the new Cold Steel that I bought. I haven't carried it yet. I love the serrations on this thing. The aluminum handle's nice. It's my baby. I've carried it for quite some time. In conjunction with the Code 4, I do carry my Top Buck Csar-T folder. I've got this one set up for right-hand carry, or excuse me, left-hand carry, and I've got this one set up for right-hand carry, so I can carry both. That way I've got a knife in each pocket. So, got those guys. And that is a 154 cm on that, which is a heavy duty steel. So if I got to do some real cutting, That's my go-to. Now let's get into the multi-tools, which is probably going to be a little more interesting. The primary is my Leatherneck, or excuse me, my Leatherman. This guy, I beat the hell out of this thing. I lost the lock. So when it's closed, there's actually no way to lock it, so it stays flipping. Now I use it so much that it's loosened up. I've tried tightening it over and over and over again, but I just keep loosening it back up. This is like their survival model. It's got the fire starter on it. You've got the knife sharpener. You've got your standard blade, which I did convex. If I can get that to focus. I did break the tip off, which is kind of a bummer, but it still works. It does have the saw on it. It does have the standard screwdriver. You got the flathead, you got the Phillips, and I've also got some other little, like a little awl there, and then I've got the can opener right there. I've used the can opener for things other than can opening. I've used this to pry out O-rings out of hydraulic, off of hydraulic hoses and fittings and things like that. This works as a like a beer bottle opener or old glass bottle opener. It also has the 1/4 inch drive head on it, which works in conjunction with this. And then all of these bits, I also carry these every day. This is a newer set. My older set, I did break some of the bits. I'm pretty rough on them. Switching over to the Leatherman Crunch, I carry these as well. It's a little bit different. These are like the vice grip style. I carry these as well because of the vice grip. Sometimes you need 2 pliers. You need some fine tuning, and you need a strong right hand, or left hand as I call it. This is my left hand. Jumping up to the OHT Leatherman, I carry this as well. I actually started carrying this one because more for the cutters than the actual pliers. I find that these pliers work for just about everything, but the cutters on this, because it is kind of spring loaded, it does give you an opportunity to really clamp down. On this one, even clamp down, your hand's not all the way closed. This one you can clamp down so you can put all your pressure into it. So you can kind of see what I'm talking about there. Plus this is spring loaded, so it pops back open. This one you got to kind of kick back open while you're using it. These two I like to carry. I do like to carry these in sheaths because they don't have pocket clips. This one, I've got a pocket that I carry it in. Jumping off from there, obviously flashlight. Got a little Streamlight Stylus Pro, which is super bright. Charging port. Real nice flashlight. Obviously, you always need a flashlight. Jumping off from there, we got lens cleaners, my keys, an additional flashlight. You never know when you're going to need a backup. You got that plan B. And gloves. I found these bad boys on, it was one of those Facebook posts, ads that kind of popped up, and they knew exactly what Bachelor for Life wanted. Got the knuckles. It's got some pretty good feeling as far as when you got the glove on. You can kind of feel what you're working with. So you've got some really good dexterity as far as working with some of the finer stuff. Even pulling these guys in and out. You can get them in, you can get them out. Sometimes with bigger, thicker gloves, you can't do that. Plus, it does work with your phone. The other thing I loved about them was right on the palm. Little reminder, don't tread on me. Don't tread on Bachelor for Life, sir. Or he's finna to get plan C, D, or maybe Z if it comes to it. Past that, I do carry the Leatherman sheaths. I can pack everything up here. It's kind of interesting how I carry all this stuff. Some of it does get flipped back into the bag every once in a while. For the most part, you know, I'll carry these on my belt and I'll switch them back over to the bag when I don't need them. I pack these in here back and forth. I do back to back. They fit in there really well. And then I stick this guy in here. The Crunch has a really good driver where you can just kind of plant it in there, so you can really get some good leverage if you need to use the screwdriver. So that's why I keep that together. The OHT, some of the tools, I really haven't used this one as much as I use this guy, if you can't tell from how abused it is. I'll use the entire head of the plier as a pry bar to pop like bulldog hitches, or, you know, whatever, anything is locked down. I have chewed the hell out of the 154 cm cutters, and I don't know why I can't get my camera to focus, but you can kind of see the rolled edges. So it's probably about time for some new ones there, or I could just start using these a little more often. This does have some pretty cool tools on it. It does have the serrated blade. It does have the it did have whatever the heck this tool was. I don't remember because I broke it prying on something, which is I don't know, maybe I should just carry a pry bar, maybe. This one also has a straight blade, which is very sharp out of the box. I can cut some cardboard if you want me to prove it. Little flathead. It's got pretty much your standard tool, so it's got a little bit of everything. That one also goes in a sheath, sometimes on the bag, sometimes on the belt. I did buy a Kydex sheath for it, but it's not as good as the Leatherman. So there's those. I go back through the knives a little bit. So this guy, one of the things that one of the reasons I carry the Code 4 is it does feel, in my opinion, it's kind of like a self-defense tool, but it's a work tool. It's you know, I'm not really joking. I mean, it's a good, you know, trimming your fingernails, things like that. I've used it for just about everything, from stripping wire to cutting hoses and things like that. Now, you know, my paracord, cut my paracord with it, strip some wire with it. I like the serrations because I can kind of dig around the wire really easily, and I don't really have to worry, because it's the cold steel, I don't really have to worry about it chunking the steel as much as I did last night with this guy right here, because it is a quality steel. You know, I can just roll that blade around. I know a lot of people probably don't like that. They'd rather use a straight blade, and I would, and that's why I carry the buck tops, the top buck, because, you know, if you get some of the smaller wire, then you do want to be a little more careful. That way you don't cut the wire. In situations where you're cutting this big wire, you don't really have to worry about that, because you're not going to cut through it. And what I'm doing is I literally just set it in the serration and just roll back and forth around it, and you get it. It almost cuts it perfectly. And once you get really, really good at it, and I'm talking here, so I'm obviously worked a full day, so I'm not really doing two things at one time very well, but you can see that it makes a clean cut all the way around, which I just love that about the serrations. The other thing it does really well, if you've got to change out hoses and hydraulic hoses and things like that, occasionally you'll come up to a situation where you need to cut the hose, and your straight blade's dull because you did something dumb, like used it as a pry bar. So, you know, I come up to it with my straight blade, and maybe I'm in a bad spot and I can't get some good pressure on it, and I'm cutting it, but my knife's getting dull. I've been carrying it all week. The serrations on the Code 4 have never failed me. Now, not a super clean cut, But if I really wanted to, I can go back through and I could church it back up with this if I wanted to get a perfect cut. Usually it's not necessary. With that being said, this guy has taken quite a bit of abuse this week, but it will still cut. But that's one of the things I like to have this serrated for. Love it for cutting hose. Love it for cutting wire. Anything that needs a little fine tuning. When you get into some of the thinner wire, like I said, some wire like maybe this, where you've got a smaller diameter, the serrations just seem to work really, really well, because you can kind of get in there, spin around, use up a little bit on the blade, just kind of spin back and forth on that bad boy, and then you can actually use the serrations to just kind of pull the wire as well. So code 4 CTS XHP by Cold Steel. Carry that every day. Buck tops, gotta carry it, because sometimes you just can't reach the Leatherman signal and you want to cut some wire, so you just cut the wire right off. Now the difference is, with this guy, I don't have to worry about affecting that blade at all or rolling that blade at all. I can easily just cut the wire and not have to worry about damaging the blade. That 154 cm steel, in my opinion, is a super steel. So past that, I don't really have much else to say. Let me know in the comments what you think. I'll probably do a little short showing all of this stuff out real quick. So please like, share, and subscribe. And Bachelor for Life out.